Good morning. Retail giant Amazon is promising to put its foot down on fake reviews. But how do you spot them before buying? I'll be looking at the details.
Now, the online retailer Amazon has promised to work harder to tackle fake online reviews on its site following an investigation by the competition watchdog.
Sarah's taking a look at this. Sarah, I mean, when you're buying something on any website, you look at the reviews when you're trying to make decisions.
I am a stickler for reviews. I probably actually just need to loosen up a bit. So this is definitely one for me. So yes, good morning. So positive reviews can definitely determine whether we buy, but not all of them are genuine, and Amazon has promised to do more to crack down on them. And this is why 9 out of 10 online shoppers say they rely on reviews when making purchase decisions. And it's estimated fake online reviews influence more than £20 billion of UK consumer spending every year. It's an issue that the Competition and Markets Authority has been looking into for quite some time. Actually, 4 years ago, it began an investigation into whether Amazon and Google broke consumer law by failing to protect shoppers from made-up reviews. Google's already agreed to take tougher action. Now, Amazon says it'll improve its systems to identify and remove them, and businesses and users who post them face being banned.
On the Amazon platform, part of the commitments that we've secured mean that consumers will be easily able to report fake reviews that they see on that platform, so that Amazon systems can take over and check whether they are real. You know, outside of that platform, we would expect, many online businesses to have that functionality so that consumers can report fake reviews. And if not, then there's citizens' advice where consumers can report problems. We also have a complaints page which people can use.
OK, so how do you spot a phony review? Well, here's a few things to look for. Don't just go by the rating. Read a few reviews. Are they about the actual product or something completely different? Look for patterns in the feedback. If a seller gets a bad review, then loads of good ones. It's possible they're trying to bury the bad one. And look for evidence to see if reviews are being traded for things like discounts. But if you do end up buying something and it's not quite what you expected, what can you do about it?
It's really important, if we get a good or service we're not happy with, that we know our rights. We have more rights when it comes to online goods and services, and therefore you should be in a position where you can return and have your money back. What I'd also say is, if you do have the time, try to be a great consumer by also leaving reviews. Your very human reaction to that product or service is going to perhaps help somebody else navigate that pitfall in the future.
Well, in a statement, Amazon told us it worked constructively with regulators around the world and that it's already taken action against those who violate its policies, including bans and suspensions. Last year, they say they blocked more than 275 million fake reviews. Nagra and Charlie, that is a lot of dodgy, phony, fake star reviews.
Indeed, buyer beware. The Energy Secretary, Ed Miliband, has told the BBC that the government is determined to cut bills by making it a requirement for most new-built homes in England to be fitted with solar panels. The plans, which are due to be announced later today, are expected to come into force from 2027. Our political correspondent, Leila Nathu, has more.
The weather may be miserable, but these solar panels are still working, generating power. The Energy Secretary, Ed Miliband, has come to see this housing development in Hertfordshire, where rooftop panels are plenty. Soon, all new homes built in England will have to have them to help meet green targets, and the government says to bring energy bills down too.
About 40% of homes currently have solar panels. It's got to be much, much higher than that. It's going to be almost universal, but there'll be rare exceptions where solar panels won't be on, if they just simply will make no difference. But for the vast, vast majority of homes will be built, the solar panels will be there, saving something like £500 for the typical homeowner. It's just common sense.
Developers will have to fit as many solar panels as possible to the roofs of new homes, or make the case to local authorities for why their plans should be exempt. The government's promised that 1.5 million new homes will be built across England by 2029 and insists this won't lead to delays or push prices up. Those in the solar industry say they're ready to step up.
We are certainly aware that we need to train more people, and there's high-skilled jobs out there to install more solar and batteries, and that's something which we as an industry are working on. We're quite confident there's quite a lot of companies are moving into this sector now, so I think that can be done, but we do need more people to work in the sector.
Reducing carbon emissions from residential properties like these is key to helping the government meet its 2050 net zero target. These proposed changes to building regulations on solar panels are part of wider plans to make all new homes greener that are going to be announced in the autumn.
The government just needs to take care to make sure that it doesn't prescribe and mandate too much on rooftops. Otherwise, it will affect the design of homes unnecessarily. We think the government can find a way through regulations, to make sure we get the best for everybody, including consumers, but without impacting the design of homes. These really are issues of practicality rather than cost.
Ministers want these to be the homes of the future, producing their own clean power from the start. They hope the promise of lower bills will mean people warm up to their green agenda. Leila Nathu, BBC News, Hemel Hempstead.
Welcome back. The Labour government here in the UK has confirmed it is looking at the idea of digital ID cards. The Environment Minister, Steve Reed, said ministers are looking to take action to reduce illegal migration. Britain is the only country in Europe without a national ID card system. It's long been opposed by civil liberties campaigners. Let's speak then to Kirsty Innes. She's the Director of Technology at Labour Together, a British think tank closely associated with the Labour Party. They've been working on proposals for the so-called brick card. Did I read that properly? I meant Labour Together. Give it the proper title. Thank you for being with us. So what would the digital ID card look like?
Hi, Christian. So it would look like a card, much like you might have a payments card in a digital form downloaded onto your phone that you could use when you needed to prove something about yourself. And to start with, we should focus on using it for this use case of proving that you have the right to live and work in the country. Whenever you need to do that, you can open your phone, tap it against the employer or the landlord's phone, whatever is appropriate, and get an instant confirmation that you do have that right.
So it's a one-stop shop then, is it, for government services?
It could well be that. I think you wouldn't try to deliver all of that in one go. And we're recommending that you start by looking at this migration use case, because we think it's such a politically significant issue, and it's something where there is high levels of public concern. And at the moment, we have a situation where we might have around 1 million people living and working in the UK illegally. And at the same time, thousands of legitimate British citizens who, because they don't have ID, can't prove they have the right to be there and are at risk of being wrongfully targeted by Home Office enforcement.
So do you think this would solve the problem of the black market in jobs?
It wouldn't be a silver bullet, but it would be a really important contribution. I think it's a really fundamental part of any migration strategy and any illegal work strategy that the government has a clear idea of who can and can't live in this country. And this would certainly make it easier for law-abiding employers to do these checks. At the moment, they're costly, they're confusing, they're inconvenient. There's about 16 different documents that employers might be required to check, and you often have to do that in person, or you pay an identity service provider to do that. With BrickCard, you would be able to do it instantly, it would be for free, and it would be the same system for everyone to use.
Could it be forged?
No, because it would be a digital credential, it would be secured, it would be much less easy to forge or to fake or to lose than the system we currently have, where we're asking people to carry around a passport or a driving licence, and often to make copies of that, which get kept in filing cabinets at your landlords or your letting agents, which opens up the scope for identity theft.
When you say it's more secure, I'm reading a story this week that HMRC have lost the PAYE details of 100,000 people. So people will be sceptical, won't they, that their data might not be kept secret?
No system is perfect, and of course security would be an absolutely top priority to make sure that we get that right with this system. But the current system, as I say, is flawed already, and not doing this doesn't mean that you have security. There are already government databases, as we know, often needing investment and renewal to make them more secure. If we're going to do that, let's do that and make the data usable, make it useful, and get benefits out of it that can make people's lives easier and make our borders more secure.
Would it be compulsory?
It would be compulsory for people who want to sign a new employment contract or sign a tenancy agreement only once it's been fully designed, tested, and made available to everyone that needs it.
You're a think tank. I know you've had some support from within Number 10. How's it gone down?
Of course, I can't speak for the government, but we think this is something that would meet the government's priorities in terms of helping people make their lives a little bit easier day to day. It could certainly eventually help people access healthcare more easily, access benefits more easily. And of course, migration, as I say, is a top concern for people across the political spectrum. So
with a rollout in this parliament?
Yes, it could be. If we get cracking now, we could see this made available to people before the next election.
Wow. Kirsty Innes, I'm sure people will have thoughts on that. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.